Hello, and welcome back to my series on building a square drop trailer. In the last video, we were able to build a custom tongue box for the front of the trailer that houses the 12-volt refrigerator. And in this video, I plan on building a custom roof rack that houses both floodlights and trailer lights. However, before I get started on the roof rack, there are a couple more things on the interior of the cabin I would like to finish before taking on its first shakedown trip. And the first item is building a kick panel. This panel will be located underneath the cabinet inside the trailer. It's the part where your feet will touch when laying on the queen size mattress. I'm using a sheet of 1/2-inch plywood to build it, and there are 3 sections that need to be cut out to allow for the plumbing that goes into the trailer. The entire kick panel is mounted at about a 45-degree angle, so these little sections here should be straight up and down once it's installed. After all the plywood was cut, glued, and screwed, I wrapped it with carpet. I'm using the same carpet that I used on some of the interior panels of this build. If you'd like to see a little more detail on how I built those panels, check out videos 8 and 9 of this build series. This panel needs to be sturdy enough in case you accidentally kick it while you're sleeping, but it also needs to be completely removable in the future. That way I have access to underneath the sink to do any maintenance or future wiring or plumbing needs. To make it removable, I pre-drilled and tapped 1/4 by 20 holes into the studs of the trailer, and then there'll be 4 button head bolts that'll go through this panel and into those studs. And the last thing to do before taking it on its first road trip is to clean up these cubbies a little bit with some edge trim. I'll put a link in the description of what I used. And we threw a queen size mattress in there and took it on its first road trip. It was a 2-part trip. The main purpose of the trip was kind of a shakedown of the trailer to see if there's any future improvements that need to be made. And there are a couple things that I'll address in a future video. The second part of this trip was to have a good time and shoot some grouse. However, the purpose of this video is to show how I built the roof rack, so let's get to it. I started off by using some foam pipe insulation. This insulation is about the same diameter as the metal tube that I'll be bending for the roof rack. I can easily flex it into any position. This helps visualize what the final roof rack will look like when I'm done. To bend the 1 3/4 inch tubing, I'm using a Woodward Fab tube bender. About a year or 2 ago, I made a detailed video on how to build a spare tire carrier for a Chevy Express van. So if you have any questions about this tube bender, check out that video first. I go into detail about all the different attachments that I bought for this thing. It's a slow but fun and satisfying process to bend metal like this. I understand that a tube bender is somewhat of a specialty item, but if you do decide to get one, I'd highly recommend getting some sort of pneumatic ram for it. That way you don't have to mount it to the concrete floor. You can put it on a cart and wheel it around. The main roof rack will consist of 4 different bent tubes. You just saw me bend the U shape for the front of the trailer, and now I'm bending the U shape for the rear of the trailer. Each side of the trailer is a little unique. It has this little bump out that kind of goes around the floodlight and protects it from tree branches. These little bump outs are slightly challenging to bend. It requires a 45-degree bend to start with, a 90-degree bend in the middle, and then another 45-degree bend all within the same plane. After getting all the pieces bent for the main roof rack, it's just a matter of cutting them to the proper length, make sure everything's nice and square. After the final shape of the roof rack was determined, I moved on to assembling it. To help assembly, I drilled holes in each end of the tubes. And then I cut some smaller tubing that fits on the inside of this tube. Sleeving the one tube over the other tube has a couple different advantages. The first being it's a nice smooth interior for later when I'm running the wires. The second reason is that it holds everything together, making assembly much easier. After plug welding those 4 sleeves in, I was able to take the bump outs and put them at about a 45-degree angle to the floor. I used some magnets and just a scrap piece of steel to hold the angle. And then to ensure each tube was lined up perfect with the other tube, I grabbed a couple pieces of angle iron and clamped them onto the sides of the tubes. And this squeezed them together long enough where I could put that other plug weld in. And then I continued this process of clamping and welding all around the roof rack. Using those inner sleeves also allowed me to adjust it to make sure it's perfectly square. This last piece I had to space out about a 1/16 of an inch. And then after everything was tacked together, I lifted it up to make it a little bit easier on my back, and then I finished welded the 4 seams. And then after grinding all the welds smooth, it's time to build the brackets that mount this thing to the trailer, and for that, I have to get the rack on top of the trailer. After protecting the roof of the trailer with some scrap pieces of wood and some old towels, I was able to carry the rack over to the trailer. It's not a heavy rack, it's just so big and awkward that it's hard for me to move around by myself. But after a few grunts and a little bit of struggling, I was able to get it safely on top of the roof so I could start working on my brackets. And for those, I'll be using some cardboard aided design. I decided on the hexagon shape that mimics the side view of the trailer, and then I traced the cardboard onto some steel and cut it out. The steel had to be thick enough, that way the uprights would clear the RV roof trim that's on the trailer. And this made it a little more difficult to cut out and to drill the holes through. And then I repeated that process until I had all 4 mounting plates done. Can't see it now because the siding's on the trailer, but in part 9 of this build series, you can clearly see the tapped holes that are in the steel framing of the trailer that I'm putting these mounting brackets into. For the uprights, I'm just using some 2-inch flat stock, and then I'm cutting them and marking them exactly where they should go on these mounting brackets first, and then I'll remove the mounting brackets, weld it on the bench, and then put it back onto the trailer. And then after mounting the driver's rear bracket onto the trailer, I repeated the same process on the passenger side rear of the trailer. I wanted to make sure that both rear brackets were the exact same size and that they are mounted securely to the trailer. That way I could shift the roof rack back and forth to make sure it's symmetrical from left to right before packing it together. And then I repeated the same process of protecting the trailer with the welding blanket before tacking the driver's side together. And then I moved to the front of the trailer. The front of the trailer is done the exact same way, except for the uprights are shaped slightly different just due to the curve of the roof rack. And after being satisfied with the up, down, and left-right position of the roof rack, I tacked it into place. And now that the main roof rack is sitting exactly where I want it, I can start working on this little rack that'll go on the tongue box. I wanted this little mini roof rack to match the main roof rack, but boy, this thing fought me every step of the way. In order for this little roof rack to sit right here, I'm going to have to build some brackets the same way I did on the main roof rack. I started with some cardboard, and then I cut out the design. Unlike the main trailer, I didn't drill and tap holes into the metal framing of the tongue box, so in order to attach the mounting brackets for the roof rack, I just have to simply drill holes through these metal studs
Oh no, I hit the door. Forgot the door was up. No! Oh no! No! Son of a...
Oh well, I suppose every project needs a signature. And I learned my lesson. The rest of the holes I drilled from the outside going inward. Then after drilling all the holes and installing the mounting brackets, I started working on the uprights. And just like the main roof rack, I started with the rear brackets before moving on to the front ones. And these uprights are designed to match the same style as the main roof rack. Now all these brackets are just slightly tacked together, and I did that because in order to get the roof racks off of the trailer, you're going to have to slightly bend out each one of these brackets to lift it around the RV roof trim. And since it was difficult enough to get the roof racks on the trailer without the brackets, I called a couple friends over to help remove the roof racks. We started by applying some masking tape on pretty much any area of the trailer that the brackets might scratch on their way out. And then we had to slightly bend each bracket outward just so it would lift off of the trailer with greater ease. And now that the racks are off the trailer, I can do the next step, which is welding them solid together. And to help prevent any major warpage from the heat of welding, I cut this 2x6 and I put it in between each bracket, and this should help make sure that the exact distance between bracket to bracket remains the same. Some of the finish welding was a little bit easier to do with the roof rack flipped over, and then after one side was done, I removed the 2x6 and transported it to the other side, and then finish welded that. And then I repeated the same process for the tongue box rack. The only thing different about this rack is it's not a hoop, so I have to weld on these little caps on each end. In the future, I'd like this roof rack to be able to hold some kayaks or even a canoe, but for right now, it's going to hold some lights. On the side of the roof rack, there'll be 2 red trailer marker lights towards the rear and 2 amber marker lights towards the front. On the rear of the trailer, there'll be some stop turn lights on each side. And if you remember in part 8 of this build series, I talked about snake lights and bear lights. Well, these are the bear lights. They're floodlights that go on each side of the trailer. And in order to mount them, the flat hardware that comes with them needs to be modified so it can fit over a curved tube. And to do that, I just have to cut out the center section of the flat mounting bracket. And then using a clamp, I held it in place and then tacked on the bracket. And then I repeated the same process on the other side of the trailer. In order to finish weld these brackets on, I first have to remove the lights, flip over the roof rack, and then finish weld them. And after they're welded, then I have to put the lights back in so I know where to drill the holes for the wiring. Using safety squints to protect my eyes, I was able to drill all the holes for the wiring around the roof rack. This includes the smaller holes where the floodlights go, and then 3/4 inch holes where all the marker lights go. The rear corner of the roof rack will have 2 additional holes. One will be for the wire harness that goes from the trailer into the roof rack with all the positive wires, and the second smaller hole will be for all the grounding wires of each light. And the grounding wires will get mounted on this piece I'm going to weld on right now. And that was the last bit of fabrication for the roof racks. The only thing left to do now are all the finishing touches, things like painting and wiring. And to start these finishes, I'm going to clean it and sand it. Sanding helps the primer adhere, plus it gives it a nice uniform texture where we welded the two pieces together. I used a rattle can of spray primer in the hard to reach areas, and then I used some Rust-Oleum clean metal primer on the rest of the roof rack. It went pretty quick applying the 2 coats of primer, and then I switched over to the black paint. I started with the rattle can in the hard to reach places. And just like the trailer frame itself, I'm using a satin black by Rust-Oleum on the rest of the trailer. Using a roller gives it a nice texture. This paint is a little soft. I've noticed some chip marks on the trailer frame. It happened on the first shakedown trip, so in the future I might upgrade to a harder paint. After 2 to 3 coats of paint, it's time to move on to the next finishing step, which is wiring. I used some tie wire as some fishing tape, and then I was able to fish the wire through and then pull the wires back through the hole. And then I continued the process of using the fishing tape to pull the electrical wires through all the holes. I made sure that each light has a grounding wire, and all the marker lights are hooked up together with one wire, a separate positive for the left turn stop light and for the right turn stop light. Then I have a positive wire for the left floodlight and the right floodlight. In total, it's a total of 5 power wires and 1 grounding wire. After running all the wires, it was just a simple matter of hooking up each light in its correct spot. After all the lights were installed, I hooked up all the grounding wires together into one wire. I sanded off some of the paint on the post, and then I tightened up the grounding wire to this post, sprayed a little paint to protect from rust. And now the big moment of installing the finished roof racks. Having 2 people for the installation is a must, and the tongue box rack didn't fight us one bit. After a slightly painful high five, we were able to install the main roof rack. We just took our time, walked it into place. We had some extra pieces of wood on top of the roof just to help hold it in place while we lined up the holes. And now it's just a matter of tightening down the bolts. We used lock washers or nylon nuts. And on the bracket near the grounding post, I sanded off some of the paint to make sure that the metal bolts go through and make good contact and a good ground into the frame of the trailer. And speaking of the wiring in that area, that's the last thing we have to hook up. We have to hook up the 5 positive wires coming out of the roof rack and going into the roof of the trailer. And after cleaning up the wiring in this area, I popped the rear hatch and decided to clean up the wiring in this area as well. And this involves stripping back some of these wires, undoing some of the rat's nest, and then labeling everything properly. And this area will get cleaned up even more when I do the kitchen galley in the back. But for now, to hook the lights up on the roof rack, I have to start in the trailer junction box, run new wires through the frame of the trailer, all the way down to the side, and out and up through this waterproof grommet, and into the wires that I just stripped back. And now, the moment of truth. I get to test all the lights on the new roof rack. And stay tuned for the next video, where we finally work on the kitchen galley.